Now that season 12 has been out for a while, I kind of wanted to do a review of this season, and it's not something I've normally done, but this season is probably my least enjoyable season that I've played in Apex so far, and I'm gonna go over why. And one of the main reasons is just because that the game has really been out for so long that everyone is good, and honestly, getting kills now is just really hard. As many of you know, I'm like ranked top 25 with Loba, and that seems to carry with no matter what character that I play, and it just makes the overall skill base just very difficult. And it takes I literally have to take a week off of Apex in order to get a good, like one or two good lobbies, and then I'm right back into the pro level tier, TTV or every single game, all of that sort of thing. But I wanted to go over season 12 because I just feel like overall, even with the the higher skill base that I get now from in every game, there's a lot of changes that I really feel like that Apex has gone away from the original fun core mechanics that really drew me first to the game. And I'm going to get into that a little bit later, but first I'm going to go over the maps. The maps, I think, end up, no matter how they're laid out, even with this map here, you kind of just end up running into the same thing that you always run into, even with like the season zero Kings Canyon is pretty much everyone lands either one of three POIs, and it's just third party central. You can't really enjoy playing the game because you just instantly get thirded. And I believe that this map and Olympus was redone so that they changed some things to where it was supposed to help out with third parties. I don't really see that. I pretty much get third party in almost every fight, and it seems like I'm just backing out of every fight because I'm getting thirded. And unless you just absolutely squad wipe a team so fast, I mean, there's another team there, if not two. Everyone's landing in the same 2 to 3 areas. Everyone's landing on top of each other, dying, and then re-queuing up, going back to the lobby. So I think overall, this map here, potentially, if everyone didn't land on top of each other, you could have better games, longer games. I'm actually a big component of when they brought in ring flares. I forget what season it was, and they would spawn in the middle of the map, and it would kind of like separate everyone out, and you'd have to sacrifice meds and stuff. If you wanted to go through the ring flare and go third party. I really wish that they'd bring that back. I know I'm probably alone in that, but I was a big fan of that when they did that limited time mode. I forget what it was called, but it was a lot of fun. And some of the matches ended up being like 15, 20 minutes long because everyone was spread out. And I think really at the core of it, that's one of the biggest problems with Apex is just that, and especially this season, it just seems like everyone's just literally landing on top of each other. Everyone, as soon as they hear one shot, they're just running over to third party. And I know third parties have always been a big thing and a huge deal in Apex, but it just seems so much worse. You'd think on a big map like this that people would play spread out, but they really don't. They land, like I said, 1, 2, 3 areas, and then they run over to gunshots. So the other thing I want to talk about was guns. The Volt got vaulted, or I guess care package, whatever term you want to say. Um, so the alternator came back, but it's pretty much it's always been kind of like a lesser version of the R99. Now, though, I'd say the R99 is only slightly better than the alternator, just because it's been nerfed into the ground. My favorite gun next to the Spitfire was nerfed as well, and that's the Flatline. And it's like one less. I think it should have 19 damage. It does 18 damage now. So, and you can only get it out of the replicator, which is a big turnoff. And so when you land, it's a lot of REs and alternators now. There's no Volt, no Flatline. And to me, it just seems like the weapon pool has been really depleted. The R99 is not a good gun anymore. It's just not. And so what has ended up happening is I'm pretty much seeing kind of that season 1 meta return of the Wingman PK, which in my opinion I think is probably the most toxic meta that there is. And it's just really annoying to go and try and hit someone with an AR that's strafing like Wraith with a Wingman. You know, she hits one headshot on you, 86 damage or 90, 92, 97 damage, whatever, the multiplier is. And then, they, tap strafe around the corner with a PK and you're dead. It just makes it feel like the loot pool and weapon choice are really just not existent. There's the Spitfire's still not back. The triple take is back on the ground, and I really feel like it is just such an easy weapon to use, and it does a lot of damage. And I feel like a lot of players that wouldn't do that sort of damage with any other gun are using the triple take. And personally, I'd love to see it go back in the care package. I'm just not a fan of the triple take. It's just not a skilled weapon to use. It's a good shotgun and it's a good long range gun. I know they took the scope off of it, which was, I guess, a step in the right direction. So now you can only put like AR optics on there. So it's just not that great. I just don't feel like Apex is really in the best spot when it comes to gun choice. And I think that I think that Respawn is trying to get guns to where every gun is more viable, but it seems like what they're doing is actually making all guns less viable. And you'll see in everyone return to the PK Wingman meta, which is just, I can't stand it. So the other thing I was going to talk about was Legends. I'm not really all that impressed with the new Legend, Maggie. I really hate that she can just throw something and it gets you out of cover. It really does take away from players that position themselves in really good spots. Maggie can just throw her Q and, or alt or whatever and throw, and it'll kill you behind a wall. It'll move you out of cover. It just makes for a more random experience with that. And I feel like now with all of the Qs kind of being buffed with all of the different Legends, I feel like now every fight that we get into is less about gun skill and more about everyone just playing around their abilities. I want to use an example of back in the day. I used Gibraltar like season 2, and you were lucky if you got your alt like twice a game. If you got it twice a game, it was just crazy. And now, with Ultimate Excels being everywhere, and Loba, it just seems like everyone's using all of their alts, all of their Qs in every fight. And, it's like I said, it's taken away from the core mechanics of Apex, which is the gun skill, I believe. And now you're getting hit with a Fuse Q, a Maggie Q, and Ash's Q. So I don't know. I give this season really a B for bummer. This season's just really bumming me out. So, anyways, guys, that's it, and we'll see you guys again real soon.